let us be once a while. Sit down, check our body, listen to our body. Let's listen to our body and see what our body says about us. Our body speaks, especially if you are a woman. Our body speaks more than a man. Our body speaks than our men out there, especially if you are married. But we don't have time to do all that. We don't have time to listen to that body that speaks to us. No. So today we're going to be unveiling a lot of things that happen to our body when it comes to sexual functions. So I will be unveiling how to reclaim your sexual desire if you have lost it. You are good if you have it going on. You are good if your husband, your spouse can say, let's do it. And you feel like doing, even before he says it, you are already in the mood. You are good. You don't have a problem. But I am communicating with women who don't even feel it. They don't even think about it, let alone desiring or feeling it. These are the people I'm talking to this morning. And if you are the one, please come closer. Share this show. Share it. This is what we should be talking about. I said it multiple times on this show. This is the topic we should be talking about in the churches, in our place of work, in our society. We all have society. We all have organization, association here and there. Why don't you sit down, pick a day, and sit down, talk about it? It's not that you just go to event, you go to party, you go to association meeting. All you want to talk about is, contributions, how to buy Ashwebi, how to go to party, how to support this, how to support that. Sit down once a while. Talk about sexual, function. Everybody that has problem, they can just talk about it. Open up to one another. We don't talk about it. And that's why our marriages are in jeopardy. Yes. A lot of men out there, they suffer in silence. I mentioned this last week when I was talking about men, sexual dysfunctions. They suffer in silence. And I'm not going to blame women for not feeling, desirable to do it, to have sex with their spouses. I'm not going to blame them. And the reason I'm not going to blame you is what I want to tell you today. I want to reveal it to you today. So it is important you sit tight and listen to what I'm going to say. So you know where the problem is coming from so that you can fix it. It is one thing to know your problem. It is another thing to know where that problem comes from and be able to fix it. Yes, it is important. So I'm going to be unveiling how you can reclaim, get it back, your sexual desire. If you don't feel it anymore, I'm going to teach you how to get it back. But before I unveil that particular problem, let me get you familiar with the causes of this problem. Causes of lack of sexual desire. I like to talk about the problem, where the problem is coming from, origin of that problem, the foundation of that problem. I love to talk about it before I can tell you the solution if I have it. If I don't have the solution, I refer. I send you to who deals with it, who is knowledgeable on that problem. So let's talk about the problem. So please drop your question in the comment if you have one. If you don't have, that's okay. I'll take a look at that and respond when I'm done talking. So drop your comment and let's talk about it in a comment. You see, when we look at low libido through a holistic lens, we view it as the body's way of conserving energy. That's the way we look at it. Please share the show, tap your screen. We look at the way we conserve energy. If your body feels stressed, undernourished, or unsafe, it will deprioritize the luxury of desire to focus on basic survival. If you work Monday through Saturday or Sunday, that is stress right there. Because there must be a day you will sit down and rest. If you are working 3 jobs, 7 days a week, I'm so sorry for you. Because when the consequence arises, you will be sorry for yourself. You will be sorry for yourself. So if your body feels stressed, or you don't nourish your body, you don't feed your body with good quality food, you don't exercise, because nourishing your body is not about food alone. If you don't exercise, you don't give your body what it desires. Rest is part of it. Exercise is part of it. Way of nourishing your body. Dressing nice, dressing good, drinking a lot of water, looking nice, taking care of your skin. These are the ways you can nourish your body, your system. So if your body feels undernourished or is not safe, it will deprive you that luxury that focus on that particular survivor, which is having sex. So when discussing women's health dysfunctions, it is very helpful to look through a holistic lens. I mean, we have to shift from the focus. How will I put it? Okay, we have to shift the focus from a single broken part to the entire body. That is what holistic do. Holistic focus on the entire body, not the part of your body. What this is telling us is that in a holistic approach, we look at the whole body, our digestion, our stress levels, our environment, our emotions, our mental, even our spiritual life must be examined. We don't just look at one side of your body, from your head to your toes. That's what we look at. We focus on the entire body. And this is the interconnectedness of systems. That is what we call interconnectedness of system. The holistic lens assumes that nothing in the body happens in isolation. No, not at all. For instance, if a woman has a skin breakout, acne, a reductionist view sees it a skin problem. Yes, a reductionist doesn't see it as anything. They don't see any other problem but a skin that breaks out, and they prescribe medication or cream for you. That is what they will do. But when it comes to holistic view sees a systemic signal and investigates. If the gut is inflamed, the liver is overloaded, or hormones are out of balance. That is what we look at, what we see. That's what we go through in your body. We look at the system, the signal your body is giving out. Everything you tell us that, oh, this is what you feel, this is what that happened, you do this, then this happens, then that happens, those are the signals we want to base our investigation on. And that is why I said they want to look at whether your gut, when you say you have acne, whether your gut is inflamed. Maybe you have inflammation in there. Whether something is wrong with your liver. Whether it's a hormonal imbalance. Those are the areas we are going to investigate before we can conclude that, okay, your acne is caused by this. We don't just give you medication or cream and go away. And that was the reason why it took me more than 20 years to realize that these pimples that I was battling with for over 20 years was caused by the food that I eat, those junks that I was eating. I was eating junks. It took me more than 20 years to realize that peanut was the problem. That the moment I hit the right person, holistic professional, the moment I hit the person and I was advised to stop eating it and change my diet, that problem stopped. Okay? So today we are going to investigate the causes of women's sexual dysfunction using a holistic approach, not conventional. Okay? We want to see the root cause instead of focusing on, only on the symptoms management. That is what conventional does. They focus on symptoms management. They do not investigate. And when we focus on the root instead of symptoms management, that is what we call bioindividual map. Bioindividual map. We want to look at everywhere. This, that. That is the map. Possibility of the cause of the problem. That is what bioindividual map is. Which means two people can have the same symptoms but require completely different treatments. For instance, my own problem, because of my acne, then if you see my face, I'm going to bring my face here for you to see and see how it looks now. How it looked then compared to how my face looked now. I'll bring it so you will see the difference. So the cause of my own problem may be different from your own problem. And we are both having the same issue. We are both having acne. But what causes mine may be different from what causes yours. That is what bioindividual map is exactly means. Okay? We ask question. Is it a hormonal shift? Is it high cortisol, the stress hormone, stealing your energy? Or is it a pelvic floor that is too tight to relax when it comes to sexual dysfunction. That is what we want to talk about today. It's not that anybody somewhere, I don't just want to be hearing it. That if you have problem, someone is responsible. Your colon shame, doesn't work with me. You can say that if all this individual map has been investigated and nothing medically, holistically is found, then that's fine. But without investigating, without going through these two routes, then nobody is responsible at that moment. Okay? So, through a holistic lenses, we don't just look at the symptoms. We look at the system. That's it. We look at the system. Now, let's take a look at the primary causes of women's sexual dysfunction. I may be saying WSD because of TikTok, so that we don't want to get, we don't want to get, restricted. Okay? So let's take a look at this primary cause, not the secondary, primary cause. Let's take a look at it. And I'll be breaking it down by system. Okay, by system. The first one I'm going to talk about is it can be caused by biochemical. When your hormone is hijacked, that is by biochemical. This is the most common physical root. It's not just about one hormone. It is about the balance between them. And this hijack happens in 4 different ways. 4 different ways. 4 different ways. The first one is when the cortisol is stealing. Cortisol steal. That is the first way. Okay? We call it cortisol steal. When you are chronically stressed, your body uses its hormonal building blocks to make cortisol. Cortisol, like, let's call it survivor. So when it used that cortisol instead of progesterone or testosterone, which is the desire. When your testosterone is high, it means that you desire for that sex. But in this case, it's been stolen by cortisol. Cortisol steal it, which is the survivor. Okay, that is number 1. When your cortisol is stolen, it's taken by, when your you desire for something, your testosterone is taken by cortisol because your cortisol is high. Your testosterone is low. Testosterone is like desire. Cortisol is when it's a survivor. Like, you know what survivor means? At least, asha wà láyé àti ikú. So, ẹni tó bá wà láyé, á ṣe ohun rere, ìyẹn ni desire. Number 2 is called low testosterone. Yes, women need testosterone too. Don't think it's for men. We also need it because it's a major driver of spontaneous desire. If you don't have testosterone, then that is why you are not desiring for it. Yes, that is why the desire for sex is not coming. And the last one is called prolactin levels. I'm going to stretch a little bit on this. Prolactin level is often raised by high stress or certain medications. Those of you that depends on medication, and you realize that after taking that medication, you don't feel it. And that is why I always advise to pay attention to your body when it reacts to either food, drinks, or medication. Because there is no way you will put anything in this mouth. There is no way you will consume anything and you will not feel the reaction. whether good or bad, you will definitely feel it. And if you are the type that have not been paying attention to your body, it's a sad thing to hear. Okay? So when you are able to pay attention to your body, you'll be able to know what is going on. Okay? So that when you notice a change in your system, you can connect the dots. If you take a medication and after taking it, you don't get stimulated, you notice low libido, it means your prolactin level is high, because high prolactin acts like a natural contraceptive and shut down libido. When your prolactin is high, it shut down your libido. That's what happened. So if you feel anything after taking either food, drinks, or medication, that particular thing you consume, that is the cause of that problem. And prolactin means prolactation. Prolactation. And the primary role of that particular hormone in your body is during pregnancy, prolactin levels rise to help prepare breast tissue for nursing. Then after birth, the act of breastfeeding triggers the brain, your brain, to release more prolactin to keep the milk supply going. Remember that I always say on this show that everything you do, every functions, how your body reacts, how you move your hands, talking, doing this, the signals comes from the head, from your brain. If the brain refuses to release that signal, nothing gets done in your body. Your parts will not do no function. So that's what happened there. Now, why does prolactin act like a natural contraceptive in your body? It does. It does because high levels of prolactin naturally suppress the hormones that trigger ovulation. And that is why many breastfeeding women do not get their periods during breastfeeding. It is the body's way of spacing out pregnancy. All these pregnancies, that's the best, your body is spacing them out. Okay, now this is where it gets interesting for your female dysfunction. Prolactin is also a stress hormone. Why? Because when you are under high emotional and physical stress, your pituitary gland can leak extra prolactin into your system. Now, what happens if that happens? High prolactin tells your brain, again, to shut down. When you have high prolactin in your body, it tells your brain to shut down. Yes, it tells your brain to shut down. To shut down what? To shut down the reproductive system, even if you are not pregnant or nursing. Because it thinks the environment is not safe or stable for either itself or for any other hormone. That is why it tells the brain to shut down if it is too high. And that's the result. Yes, that's the result. Now, why high prolactin matters? We call it in the medical time term is hyperprolactinemia. Hyperprolactinemia. That's it. That's the medical term. Okay? Why this high prolactin? Why is it matter? If your prolactin levels are elevated and it rise when they shouldn't be, when this thing, your prolactin, when it rises, when it shouldn't rise, it acts like a brake on your vitality. And that is when a woman with high prolactin begins to experience symptoms like low libido. And that low libido directly mutes sexual desire. We all know that if you don't have desire to have sex, that is what we call low libido. Now, the second symptoms is irregular periods. That means your period is not regular. It's not coming as it's supposed to. For instance, you might be having it 2 days a month, monthly. Let's say you have it now, 1st of January. You have it 2 days or three days. And 15, it comes back. The end of January, that is what we call irregular. So irregular periods, that's one of the symptoms. That's when a woman begins to have like light, skipped, or non-existent cycles. That is irregular period. Symptoms like that can come if you have high level of prolactin. If you have high level of prolactin, you can also have infertility. All those of you that looking for, you are being delayed. It's not coming. You're not getting pregnant. You may be suffering from high prolactin in your body. High prolactin can cause infertility. It prevents the egg from being released. You won't be able to release that egg that your husband is going to put its own stuff together. So when you are not releasing the egg, how will you get pregnant? Make me understand it. How is it going to happen? Okay? So when you have this infertility, it means probably you have a high prolactin in your body. And that is why you need to look at every area. Don't focus on one side. Don't be one-sided. Don't say maybe it's my husband. It might be you having that problem. Stop doing that. Examine yourself first. And be sure that the problem is not coming from you. Because if you have high prolactin, it is possible that you will be suffering from infertility, which means your body is not producing eggs at all. All right? Another symptoms you can experience if you have a high prolactin is called unexplained weight gain. That's why you see a lot of obese. It's so difficult for them to get pregnant. Some of them don't have desire for sex. They don't feel it. No matter how romantic their husband is, they don't. They don't feel it. Because of the weight you gain. Your body begins to influence how your body metabolizes fats and handles insulin. Of course, you know that when you gain weight, that is the insulin problem. Yes. Now, if a woman experiences any of these symptoms I just mentioned, it means you are under stress, or taking a certain medication that raises your prolactin, which means you are under high emotional or physical stress that makes your pituitary gland drip, leak extra prolactin into your system. Okay? Now, in the body's chemistry, there is something we call dopamine and prolactin. These hormones, they sit on a seesaw. When two hormones sit on a seesaw, if one is more than the other, it brings that particular thing they sit on, it relaxes it, it makes it bend because this is high. Right, now let me break it down for you. Dopamine is the inhibitor, a hindrance, because it keeps prolactin levels low. Okay? When you feel motivated, you feel joyful, you're so happy, or you are rewarded, that is high dopamine. And that is why you see when a woman just finish having sex, you smile, you laugh, you feel so relaxed, you sleep off. Iṣẹ́ dopamine nìyẹn. It means you have a high dopamine in your body. But when you have a sex, you are so annoyed, you are so upset, you are so angry, you don't even feel it. What is that? Means you have a low dopamine. Okay? And when you have high dopamine, your prolactin stays in check. Okay? It stays in check. And that is why you are able to have sex. You feel so happy. You hug each other. You want to go second round again. Because you feel it. You love it. You enjoy it. You want to go second time. Ejo. Share anything you like in call. If you don't like what you just consume, will you be able to take it again? It's just like you make a stew. You make a, delicious food. And you take one round, you realize that this is so tasty, tastes really good. You want to go second round. That is iṣẹ́ dopamine ṣe nìyẹn àti prolactin. If these two are so low in your body, that is why you don't have desire for sex. If your dopamine drops due to burnout, depression, or poor gut health, prolactin can spike. Yes, it spares. So to manage your prolactin naturally, we often you need to support dopamine through sunlight, protein-rich foods, and that is known as tyrosine. So you need to support it through protein-rich foods, sunlight, and stress reduction techniques such as meditation. So if you are not been doing this, if you are not eating good food, you are not exposed to sunlight, and you don't reduce your stress, some of you go to work Monday through Friday, you come back, you can't even work or mora. No, you want to go to another job. So how do you want to feel it? You are going through stress that is taking your desire for sex away from you. That is what happened right there. And if any doctor prescribe any medication for you, pay attention to it. First, go online. That is what I usually do. I don't swallow medication. So to get sick or have any issue is going to be so difficult. I don't. Because any medication I'm being given, if I don't know that medication before, I will go online and research in the right source. That's already social media. I'll go to the right source. I will research. If the side effect is more than what I need it for, I don't swallow. I put them in. When it's expired, I throw them away. I discard them. But if you have to take it, such as medication for antidepressants, um, if you are going through stress and you are being prescribed to take a medication, it's an antidepressant, okay, or you have any underlying conditions, you are given medication. First of all, pay attention to because of course, they put it in your head that you must take it. If you don't take it, you will die, and you don't want to die, so you begin to swallow all those pills. I'm not saying don't eat, don't swallow. Continue. Swallow it. But do me a favor. Pay attention to your body system, your body reaction to that medication. And of course, I believe your doctor will tell you that. That's if you feel any symptoms, any side effect, please speak out. Come to me. The doctor will tell you that. So pay attention to your body. When you swallow that medication, what happens after that is important. So if you take that medication, you that have been having sex, you enjoy it, there's no problem. Now you begin to swallow medication, or you eat certain food, or you do something, you increase your hours at work that make you stress out. You want to quickly focus, connect that dot that, oh, this is the reason why I'm not having this. Because not everything is, you see, sometimes we want to look at things as a big deal when it is just a little thing you need to do to control that thing. Not every problem you have in life requires medication, surgery, or whatever. No, sometimes you just need to stop doing something. You just need to stop eating certain food. You just need to just stop doing something. And everything is settled. Problem is solved. But how do you do that when you don't even know what the problem is? How? That is definitely impossible. Please share this show. I'm begging. Just share. I don't want to be taken away. Just share and tap your screen. Please, I'm begging. Just share. Share and tap. So it is important you do this. Now, the fourth way, I told you I'm going to stretch a little bit on prolactin. This is the end of prolactin, which is the third causes, the third cause of that inability to desire for sex. That is the third one. Now, the fourth way your hormone is hijacked by this is thyroid function. Thyroid function. If your thyroid is sluggish, slow longevity, you call it hypothyroidism. Your entire metabolism slows down, including your sexual drive. If you have thyroid function, that could be the reason too. Now, these 4 ways are biochemical causes. All right? Biochemical causes. I just finished talking about biochemical causes now. When you are chronically stressed, when your testosterone is low, when your prolactin spikes, when it spears, and your thyroid slows, this is biochemical causes. Okay? Now let's take a look at the physical causes of low sexual desire. And we call this hardware and circulation. Okay? Physical cause means if the body is not physically primed, if your body is not prepared or is not ready, that is the physical one, the brain won't follow. Because for your brain to send a signal to any part of your body must be ready. That particular organ in your body must be ready. If it's not ready, this brain sends signal to whoever is ready. It's just like you go for an interview, they call you to come in, and you say you are not ready. We're doing what? They go for the next person. Simple as that. So if your body is not physically ready, the brain will not be ready. And that is when you begin, that is when a woman begins to have pelvic floor tension. That is number one. You begin to have pelvic floor tension. You can call it hypertonic. Yes. Pelvic floor tension. You see, pelvic floor tension is like when your pelvic is too tight. Hypotonic is too tight of that pelvic. Pelvic floor can make arousal physically difficult or even painful. And that can lead to the brain to avoid intimacy altogether. When your pelvic is so tight, it's like you are telling what you are going to receive. For instance, coming from the brain, I'm not ready. Okay, let me use this analogy. When you two of you are in the house, you want to go to a place or a party. You call the next, the second person, you both agree to go. And the person says, oh, I can't even make it. I'm having headache. Or my back is hurt. My dizzy. Just complain. That will prevent the person from going. Because he knows that if he dare step out, something terrible might happen. So you want to stay and feel better before he can go to that party and have fun. Exactly what I'm talking about. So if the pelvic is too tight, your brain will avoid connection with you, with that pelvic. That is what we call pelvic floor tension. Yeah. Next you can feel is blood flow issues. Blood flow can also cause low sexual desire. I'm taking it slow because I want you to get it. I don't want to be fast. I want you to get it. When your blood flow, when you have issue with your blood flow, it can make you have low sexual desire. Things like high cholesterol, a sedentary lifestyle, or poor nutrition can decrease microcirculation to pelvic region. I just said it a few minutes ago. Poor nutrition, if you don't have good food in your body, because there are certain food you will eat and you will begin to desire for that sexy. You want me to give you those food? When you eat those food, before you finish eating, where you sit down, you feel like you tell him to come home. There are some food like that. And when you sit so long, that's what we call sedentary lifestyle. You sit 8 hours without even standing up. Then you begin to say, I'm gaining weight. And when you call, I don't know why I'm gaining weight. I don't eat too much. I only eat 1 time a day. So why am I getting? And when I ask that, what is your, what do you do for a living? I work. Okay. What does your job entails? Do you sit? Oh, I sit. How long? I cannot stand up. Oh, My job doesn't allow me to stand up from my seat. So I have to sit for about 5 to 6 hours. I said, that's why you're gaining weight. No job, no company on this earth will make you have a job that will make you sit for more than 2 hours. I've never seen that job. If you are doing that job, let me know. I'll give you a lawyer that will sue your company. No job is going to tell you not to get up and walk around. It is never possible because it is not, it's not good for your health. You need to move around. You can't just sit for hours. This can cause your blood not to flow, apart from desiring for sex. And that's why you gain weight. That's why you have BP. That's why you have high blood pressure and diabetes. If your blood is not flowing, you sit down, it will not flow. You need to move around. Don't sit in a spot and be calling this, calling that. On the fifth floor. You call the person to come and get you remote right there beside you. Excuse me. Sedentary lifestyle can cause you blood flow issues that can affect your sexual desire. And the last physical issues is called nutrient deficiency. Nutrient deficiency. And we have many of them. So I would say nutrient deficiencies. Low level of iron. Some don't even remember the last time they take iron. When I tell people that every human being must be taking iron every day, especially women, we lose blood every month. I have to stop whereby you have to menopause. You see that blood running every month. It's getting into my brain. I can't just avoid it. But immediately I enter menopause, I'm like, Jesus, thank you. But when you are leaving one issue, you are getting into another one. Menopause is not easy. Don't think it's easy. You begin to have hot flashes, headache, mood swing. Sometimes my body will be hot, like I'll turn on the AC, I'll turn the fan, I'll be sweating. That is the sign of menopause. I'm preparing you. If you are not there yet, I'm just preparing you to get ready. So every woman on earth, you must be having iron, especially women, because you lose blood every month and you need a replacement. If you can't take supplements, you can eat it from the food. And I bet you, we don't get enough of nutrient from the food we eat these days. I am a nutritionist. I'm telling you the fact. If you don't believe it, then you cannot believe it. You cannot get those nutrients your body needs from the food we make, that we grow today. Why? Because the food is having a lot of preservatives, chemicals that takes away all those nutrients, because they store those food now. They process it by adding chemical to it because they want to preserve those food and put it on the shelves for you to take there. When you get there 3 weeks to this time, you still meet the food on the shelves. For them to preserve those food, they need to process it and add chemicals that preserve the food, prevent it from contaminating the muscle. So you don't get nutrients from the food you eat now. You can get at least 50 to 70% if you eat naturally, but you cannot get 100% from the food, because even in the soil, chemical is added. In the soil, chemical is added. So how do you get natural? You will see organic. They are not big. They are very small, but they are expensive. How many people can afford that? That is why supplements is everywhere now. Some people will get those organic, products. I mean, that roots, plants, fruits, they get organic and turn it to supplements. That is why you have to look for organic natural supplement if you know how to get it, because a lot of junks are out there. They still write organic, yet they are not, but they want to sell their product because the governments are not investigating. They don't scrutinize all these supplements companies. They don't. They only scrutinize those medication, drugs. They scrutinize them. They don't do that to supplement companies. So if they put organic, there are some signs you will see and know that yes, this is real organic. I'm going to come back here and teach you that. So if you are able to get supplements, iron, organic, go for it. So low levels of iron, vitamin D, or vitamin B12 can lead to fatigue so deep that the body has no surplus energy for desire. If you like all these three, this is my vitamin B. My iron is where I put them. Vitamin D is there. In fact, I can't get up. I'll just go and bring them. It's because this one is something that I can just open. It's chewable one. That's why I put it next to me on my desk. Women, you must have these three supplements. You need it. If you lack these three, then you have problem desiring for sex. So if you have low libido, try iron, try vitamin D, try vitamin B12. Okay? The three causes of low libido, or call it low sexual drive, is the third one: lifestyle. And we call it rhythm disruptors. The mental load. This is the invisible to-do list. Invisible to-do list. You will not write it somewhere, but it's in your brain. You want to do laundry, the bills, the scheduling. Where did they put me for next week? I'm working next week. What hours? Morning or afternoon? This is invisible to-do list in your head. In women, the brain is primarily, its primary sexual organ. The brain is your primary sexual organ. If the tabs in your brain are always open, the Arosa app won't load. If you always think, I'm doing laundry tomorrow and I have to work in the morning. Okay, let me get that laundry done in the morning. In the afternoon. Your brain is just thinking, okay, on Wednesday I have to see the doctor. Tuesday I work in the morning, I have to see my brother, and Saturday I have a party. This, that. Your brain is 24 hours calculating all that. You will not feel it. That's Arosa hormone in your body will not open. It will not receive anything because you use that your brain to think of every other things, and you are not thinking of okay, when you all do all that, you go to work, you do laundry, you do this, you do that. You can't even think that, okay, this evening I want to have sex with my husband. Let me relax all this tension, all this problem. Let me relax it with a good sex. You don't think of that because you have exhausted your brain thinking of other things. And when your brain is exhausted, it doesn't receive anything. No signal. It's shut down. By the time you will start thinking of having sex, the brain is not receiving it. To send it to your Arosa app, it doesn't receive it anymore. This is what we call mental load. If you don't know, I'm telling you now. Yes. The next one is poor sleep. Poor sleep. Libido is lightly regulated during deep sleep. If you are able to sleep, you have a very sound sleep. That is when your libido is regulated. Because 1 or 2 nights of poor sleep can tank testosterone level by 10 to 15%. Yes, because women, we actually have more testosterone in our bodies than estrogen by weight. So it is the fuel for our motivation, our muscle, and our mood. So when testosterone is tanked, and that is if it is not produced or it is locked up, your body cannot use it. And that creates a specific fade in women's quality of life. Can you use something that is taken away from you? No. If something is, for instance, you want to fetch water and somebody turned the tap, they turn it off. Will you be able to get it? No, it is locked up. That's what happened. Poor sleep, that's what poor sleep does to your libido. If you are working 24 hours, you do morning, night, evening that you're supposed to sleep and get your stuff back, you are still scheduling your put me see schedule. Put me on schedule. I'll do it because I need money to send to Africa. Those people you are sending money to, they are sleeping. You are working 24 hours. You are losing so many things in your body. Apart from physical things you are losing. I don't care about that. But your body, it shut it down. And this quality of life got disrupted. It's taken away from you. And this is a matter of a production and availability issue. Even though your body is producing, but you are not even available to use those things you produce. This is what we are talking about. Medication side effects can also cause it. Can cause low libido. Yes. All these antidepressants, SSRIs, and hormonal birth control. Some of us use birth control because we don't want to get pregnant. And when you are trying to stop pregnancy, baby from coming, by the time you are ready, desire will not be there. Because that medication you put on your body has stopped your functioning to that. These two are the leading conventional causes of muted libido. This medication, the birth control or all this antidepressants, medication you are taking, they are the leading cause. Sometimes we want to do everything. We want to get this, we want to get that, we want to become rich, we want to be ready to have kids. So we put a lot of things on our body. And when it is time to start having kids, we go to the doctor. Please, can you take this birth control? IUD, whatever it is, the patch, or whatever you put in there. Now you are ready for sex. Desire is not coming. That birth control is the cause. Is the cause of this your problem. I'm not saying it's the cause for everybody. I've mentioned before you join us, if you're just joining us, before you join us, I've already mentioned multiple things, about 3 things that can cause low libido. Lack of sexual desire. I'm on the 4th one now. And the 4th one is called Ayurvedic perspective. Ayurvedic perspective. when we want to look at it locally, like let's look at it locally. In Ayurveda, low libido is often linked. Please tap your screen if you are on TikTok. Tap your screen, please. We don't want to get, restricted. Tap your screen, please. And please share this show. It's important. I know you guys are enjoying it. Now, in Ayurveda, low libido is often linked to low Agni. Agni is called digestive fire in Ayurvedic nutrition. It's linked to digestive fire and depleted urges. That is called vitality. Okay. Now, vital imbalance is when a woman has too much movement, too much travel, or too much anxiety. When you have all this, it dries out your system and it can lead to juices or secretions. Another one in Ayurvedic perspective is called kapha imbalance. When there is too much heaviness or stagnation in the body. This can make your mind, feel dull or uninterested. That is what Ayurvedic means. And it's natural. When you have too much going on in your mind, when you can't even concentrate, too much troubles here. It could be job, it could be family issue, it could be the same relationship you are. When you have too much going on, it becomes heaviness in your heart and it makes you stagnant. You don't even know where to go. This makes you feel like you are dumb. You don't even know what to do. And at the end, you don't just feel emotional. You are not interested in anything that goes around you. So how do you want to have desire for sex when this is going on? That is what Ayurvedic perspective is telling us. Now, let's think of libido like a car. The car you drive. Low libido usually is not because the accelerator, which is the accelerator is the desire to me. It's not because accelerator is broken. It is because the brakes, which is the stress, the pain, the shame, the fatigue, this and that, because they are being pressed to the floor. That is the meaning of low libido. It's not about your desire is broken. It's because of the cause, the reason why your desire is not there. That is what libido. That is the causes of libido. Are you a woman with zero sexual desire in this section? On this platform, watching me right now, check your libido battery percentage now. Do you usually, in fact, I've been talking about it for the past 40 minutes now. Sometimes some women, when you are talking about sex, they feel aroused. They feel like doing it. Maybe yesterday, your husband touches you. He touched you. Or today, brings you closer. And even touching you, you feel like doing it. Yes, you don't have problem. Your percentage could be 50 and above. Now check your own. What is the number? If it is under 20%, you don't need spices. What you need is a recharger. You know what a recharger means? Rest. You need to rest. You need a recharger and nervous system regulation, that is what you need. You need to recharge your body. Rest, Lonjebe. And when you rest, that rest will automatically reset. It will regulate your nervous system. That's all you need to do. Now, this is the big 5 takeaways. I want you to take these 5 home. Meditate upon it. Practice it. Talk about it. It is what you talk about, you become, familiar with. It sticks in your brain. And when you have something going on in your brain, you act upon it. Okay? These 5 big takeaways. Now, the first one is desire is a surplus resource. Desire is a surplus resource. Your body sees libido like a savings account. If you are bankrupt due to stress, which means you have a high cortisol, lack of sleep, or poor digestion, your body won't let you spend energy on desire. If you go bankrupt, you don't have money. Where do you get the money to use again? The reason why you declare bankruptcy is because you don't have money. So if you declare bankruptcy, you don't have the money to spend again. That is exactly the way it is. If you don't have all this, if you cannot sleep, you're going through stress, you do this, you don't eat this, the quality food, that means you are bankrupt. And when you are bankrupt, no energy for you to use on that desire. No energy on desire. That is it. So recovery is the first step to arose. That is number 1. Number 2 is check the handcuffs. That is availability versus total. Check the handcuffs. Don't settle for a doctor telling you your levels are normal. If your total testosterone is fine, but you feel faded, your free testosterone is likely locked up by sexual hormone binding globulin. You need to free what you already have. Free what you already have. I know you're going to ask, what is sexual hormone binding globulin? Let me tell you. Sexual hormone binding globulin is the transport truck of the bloodstream. While it is important for moving hormones around, if there are too many trucks on the road, they trap the hormones inside. If you have many trucks on the road and your truck is trapped in the traffic, will it be able to move? That is impossible. It won't. That is what globulin is. Sexual hormone binding globulin. It means that your truck, your transport is stuck in that traffic. Only the hormones that are free, the car in the front, they are free to go. Not the one that is stuck in the truck, in the traffic. Only the hormones that are free, the hormones that are free, can actually enter your cells to give you energy, to give you muscle tone, to give you libido. So if all this hormone, if they trapped, you won't get libido. No energy. No desire for it. That is number 2. Number 3, I want you to take home. The brains. The brakes are not more powerful than the gas. The brakes are not powerful than the gas. You can take all the supplements in the world, but if your brakes, if it sees the brakes as stress, body image, mental load, or pain, the brakes are pushed to the floor. The car will not move. It will not move. The holistic healing is about lifting the brakes, not just eating the gas. If you have gas in the car, you will move the car. But if you don't have the gas in the car, even though you have brakes, the car cannot move without the gas in the car. It's simple as that. Right? So if you have the brakes that works, not the one that worn out. So it is possible that even with the gas in your car, you can still move your car with the gas in the car. So if you don't lift the brake, the gas will just be there. So you need to lift the brakes, put the gas. No, here in the US, we you call it I think I'm not sure what you call. I don't remember what you call it back home. But for you to start the car, you ignite it. Then you put your feet on, one of your feet on the brake or the gas. We call it gas. The other one is gas. So if you put your legs on the gas, the car will move. You can't just put the gas in the car and allow the car to move just on its own. Of course, we have cars that drive itself now. You either charged or get gas in there. You don't need anybody to start it. You don't need anybody to control the wheel. We have the car now. They are making it now. I've seen it. But let's focus on the automatic cars and the manual. If you put the gas, if you don't put your leg on the brake, to move the car will not move regardless of the gas you have there, even if it is a full tank. So the brakes are more powerful than the gas. And that is why you always see the car being put on neutral and it's still moving. That's the example of what I'm talking about. You can still move the car even if there is no gas in that car. It's a matter of putting it either in the neutral and move it, or if there is a gas, you want to keep going, you want to drive out, you still need to put your leg on the gas. So that is it. That is number 3. That is exactly what you need to know about the sexual for desire. That hormones in you, they need to be active. You need to raise the one that is low before you can desire for it. Number 4 is chemistry. Chemistry is a seesaw. High cortisol or high prolactin is equal to low libido. Write it down if you want to write it down. And what causes stress, nursing mode, insufficient, maybe, nutrient deficiency, and other things that I've mentioned. So if you have high cortisol or high prolactin, you will have low libido. If you have high dopamine and high testosterone, you will have high libido. Desire for sex. And that is about motivation, you feel happy, you are lifted, things like that. That is it. To fix the bottom, You have to manage the top. You don't just go to the top and begin to fix it. You need to fix it from the bottom. That is number 4. Number 5, your diet matters too. Your diet matters. You call it tomato. I told you last time that there's something in tomato that if you eat it, it gives you the desire. You feel it. You feel like doing it. Now, how do you eat it? How do you, you don't just take the tomato and begin to eat it. So your diet matters. It matters because systemic inflammation from unfriendly foods, like too much of raw acid for period type, creates physical discomfort in the body. If your internal house is on fire with inflammation, you won't want to invite guests over for intimacy. It's not possible. It is never possible. If you have fire burning in your house, Elaine Jonah, will you invite friends to come? No, you won't. So if you don't have all that delicious quality, healthy food consumed, then you won't have the desire to have sex, let alone calling your spouse to do it. You have to desire for it first. And when you have good diet, then you can feel it. Men, there's some food you will eat. And when you finish eating, even if your wife don't feel it, you pay for dowry, right? That's what African men says. They will tell you, I pay for your dowry. You are my property. I must do it. No, you don't do that. You don't force it. You have to feel it. You have to be ready for it. It's not something you just want to grab your wife. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to consent for it. Both of you have to agree. You have to agree mentally, emotionally, physically. Before you can do it, it's when you do that, you will enjoy it. And before this thing happens, all those hormones must be in action. Because you are not the one talking. The hormone in your body, dopamine, it's already high. Your prolactin is already high. They are ready for it. That's why you are feeling it. Because all the things we do, it is activated in our body system to do it. So it's not something you want to force. It's not not by force. You start from, when you begin to smile, it means that your dopamine is coming up. You begin to smile until you, from the beginning to the end of the sexual, the intimacy, the intercourse, you are smiling until you finish. You are still smiling. It means you have a high dopamine. Before you start, you are laughing. You are so happy, like you just won lottery. Your spirit is so high. And after you finished having sex, you still feel the same thing. It means you have a very high dopamine and prolactin. Yes. So these 5 take home that I just mentioned, pay attention to it. Now, the information I'm trying to pass across to you guys for the past 15 minutes to 1 hour is clinically physical arousal. They call it the hardware working. Is different from the subjective desire. That is the software wanting to run. If you install software in your computer, if you receive the signal to get activated, that means you have to click on something, run. Then that software you install will begin to run. That is just subjective desire. Why the physical arousal is the laptop, the hardware that you turn on and it begins to work. That is the physical arousal right there. Okay? So it's a matter of arousal versus desire. That's the connection. So arousal must connect with your desire. If they disconnect, that is why you don't feel it. You can think of blood flow to the clitoris like an engine idling in a car. Think of it like that. When you have, like you put water in the car. So let's think of the blood flow in your clitoris, because arousal and desire must be connected. So, I said it last week that you must, when I was talking about sexual dysfunction, and I mentioned, erectile dysfunction, that the blood comes from your heart to your penis or your clitoris. Same thing. So it's not about getting blood into your clitoris that will make you get aroused. No. It's about arousal and desire. If both of them did not connect, even though you receive it, and that's why I said you can think of blood flow to the clitoris like an engine. To sit down, a car that just, an engine in a car that is not working, that you just receive blood in your body. So what are you doing with that blood? So think of it like that. Now the engine is on. You turn the engine on. The parts are lubricated and ready. The driver, that is your brain, has no interest in putting the car in gear. Do you get it? You have the car sitting down, and this car has an engine. It's okay, it can work, but it's sitting there. You are not driving the car. That is exactly the way. If you receive the blood in your clitoris or your penis, and you are not doing anything. Okay, let's now say that you want to do something. You start the engine. Everything in the car is ready. You start the engine. But yourself, your brain, is not connecting. It's not telling you, okay, do this, do that. It's not connecting. Your brain has no interest. You yourself, you don't have interest in putting that thing in action. You don't have desire to do it. That's what I'm talking about. Okay? You have to connect it. Physical arousal is a localized reflex-based response. It is controlled by the systematic nervous system and blood vessel dilation. It is controlled, again, by the parasympathetic nervous system and blood vessel dilation. Why the subjective desire is a complex psychological and hormonal urge that happens in the brain's reward centers. So look at it like that. So a woman can experience significant physical engagement, blood flow, but feel completely neutral or even disconnected from the experience mentally. So low libido is not a personality flaw. It is a biochemical boundary. Your body is saying, I'm too tired to play. Stop trying to force it and start nourishing it. Stop it. You need to begin to feel it, to think about it. And when it's coming, you begin to do it. That is how you nourish your body. Sex is part of what you are going to nourish your body with. If you are a woman or a man, you are of that age to do it. You are married to do it. If you don't have sex, you are starving your body, which basically means that you are not nourishing your body. Yes, because if you have sex, you activate dopamine hormone that make you happy. Go and pay attention to every woman that has sex regularly. You never see them unhappy. You will never see them unhappy, because that dopamine is making them to be happy. They have a high dopamine. If you see a woman that is so happy, pay attention. The dopamine is high. They won't have problem having sex at all. So stop trying to force it. Start it now. Start nourishing your body. When the system feels safe, the desire returns. When your body is ready, every other thing see that, okay, I can come in now. Your dopamine, your prolactin, all these things, okay, your body is safe. You don't have stress. You are not thinking about bills. You are not thinking of party. You are not thinking of schedules. You are not thinking of this. They know that you have time for them now. You let those things, you let it sleep. You let it go. You give time for this hormone to activate in your body. That is when you begin to feel it. That is when your desire comes back. Don't force it. Let it happen naturally. Nourish it. If your husband comes to you, do it. Gradually, you get there. Bring your brain to it. Be thinking about it all the time. And if your husband is not coming to you, go to him. Go to him. Because if you don't go to him, you see how men works. Their brain, you know how it works. Let me give you a secret. I've been in their midst I don't have female friends. If I call you a friend and you are a female, you're either my sister, my cousin. So I don't have female friend. What tells you that men are the most human being on planet that I can see as my friend? So I'm in between them. It's like a circle, and I'm in there. Let me tell you the secret. If your husband approaches you to have sex and you deny him today, second time he comes, you deny. The third time, they will not come. They will not ask you. Their brain is automatically wired that if I go third time, I'm going to receive the same excuse. So they will not come. There is a button in them that got activated. When that button got activated, the button tells them that you need to have sex. If this is not working, this is another alternative. That is when a man goes out there and look for somebody that can take care of that desire in them, that can give them that desire. Now you want to be crying, come to social media and be crying that your husband has been taken away, when you are the one that naturally, with your consent, pushed him out to another woman. No, it doesn't work like that. You need to think about it. So let me stop here so that I can come back next week, Saturday. And I hope today's health tips bring back your desire for that, what your body actually needs. I hope so. And I hope I've healed somebody today. Because I know a lot of us, we face all this. Women, it's not about sexual desire alone. A lot of things are going on in our body system. Especially when you are expecting to be pregnant, first year, second year, and it's not coming. Check your body, please. Check. That dopamine that is so high in your body can prevent you from releasing that egg. I've said it before you join us, if you're just joining us. So please work on it. And I'm going to stop here so that I can return next week. I'm Dr. Betty. Here is to Healthy Living. guiding you and your spouse towards a very strong, healthier, and beautiful body. Good night, everybody.